Hey, what's up everyone? Thank you for joining. What class is that? Is it number 39? Yeah, it's really nice to be here. Thank you for joining these chair yoga sessions. It's really nice that you get a mixture of different types of chair yoga, but it's always a pleasure to teach my weekly class. I really enjoy it. And it gets me moving as well in this really mindful way. So the beautiful thing, if you are new to chair yoga, is everything that we do on a mat, which is down here, we can do in a chair, right? And sometimes that's the best practice for us. You know, sometimes the floor's not available, you know, sometimes it's never available, right? So the fact that we can practice in the chair is incredible. And we move the body, we move the breath, a little bit of mindfulness, right? There's a little bit of energy that comes into our practice. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to just leave feeling a little bit better than when we arrived. And that's it. Try not to think about your yoga practices like it's going to create these huge shifts very quickly, because it probably won't. And that's like life in general, isn't it? You know, the fact is that what we try and do is we try and live our life in a, I guess, you know, a more wholesome way for some of us, right? And we know that those changes, those quick fixes, what do they to have you here today. What we'll do is we're going to start seated, and we're going to have our feet planted firmly on the floor. As you can see, I've taken my shoes and my socks off, especially my socks, right? Make sure you're warm enough, make sure your seat is sturdy. You know, I used to practice quite a lot at home, but now I'm practicing with the Space to Breathe in Leicester. So we have these lovely yoga chairs, and you'll see with this yoga chair, whoa, I just fell over, that would have been bad, wouldn't it? This yoga chair, they're really tricky, you trip over them really quickly, but it doesn't have a back on it. Look, can you imagine if I would have fallen over? It'd be like, that's it for Dave, it's all over. This doesn't have a back on it, so it encourages me to sit forward on my chair, right? Even though it's booby trapped and it's trying to trip me up. My word. Right, take two. Mondays can be very exciting. So I will shuffle forward on my chair. And they're nice and slidey, these ones as well, but you might be practicing in your armchair, right? Or one of your favourite dining room chairs, it doesn't matter. Bring some length into your spine. I'm not sure if I'm going to get over that. I look forward to playing back on Facebook and YouTube later on just to watch myself nearly fall over. Bring your palms face up. Let's settle. Maybe close your eyes and just draw your gaze down towards your feet if you don't like closing your eyes. Lengthen your spine and just notice what you brought onto your mat. Maybe nice and relaxed through the shoulders, nice and relaxed through your jaw. And just watching your breath flow in, watching your breath flow out. All right, that's it. Nice, simple practice. And what I love about yoga in general, or meditation, is that we just get this opportunity to check in, right? To just reset every time we get onto the chair or onto our mat. We get this opportunity just to see what's going on underneath the surface. That doesn't mean that it's always easy to look at that stuff, but just be mindful of what's going on, and no idea of forcing to change. Just noticing how the mind settles, hopefully. And as you do that, you may notice how the breath settles, right? This is a mind-body practice where we're not just physically moving, we're not just sitting in meditation, even though we are now, but as we move through the class, which is half an hour long, we'll move a little bit, right? A little bit of chair yoga flow, I think it was boldly advertised as. So we'll try and do some of that. All right, take a couple more rounds of breath. And then what I'd like us to do is just have a little intuitive move. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as what I do, but bring some little bit of some movement into your arms. So maybe on an inhale, just sweep your arms up. We normally start this way, right? Now, as you do that, if you can, root down through the four corners of your feet, and then just have a little move around, right? Again, this doesn't have to be anything in particular. Sometimes it's nice to do a little twisted action. right? You don't have to have the arms above the head at all. If it feels too much or you can't bring the arms above the head, don't do it, right? Kind of bring those movements in that feel good for you. You may clasp your hands and push your palms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, maybe round the spine and really push the palms forward so you get into the kind of near to the upper back and the shoulders. Maybe inhale up, join me doing that, and then exhale to round the spine. So this is your seated cat-cow. Inhaling up and exhaling down. 2 more like that. Inhale up and exhale down. And then 1 more. Nice deep inhale as you lengthen. And then this time as you exhale, comb the arms all the way down, nice and slowly. And then from here, we're going to do a little twist. But before we do that, just have a little move through your shoulders. Yeah, nice. All right, so this twisting, actually, you're going to open up the arms quite wide if you can. So make sure you've got enough room to kind of move your wingspan, right? Try not to crash into anything or anyone, okay? Right hand on the heart, we do this one quite a lot. Inhale your left arm to the left. Exhale your right arm to the right. So you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I'm going, relatively fast, but not too quickly. And you kind of bring that movement in that feels good for you. But match the movement with breath. Try not to kind of hold the breath. Keep the movement going, keep the breath flowing in, keep the breath flowing out. So inhale, exhale, exhale. Now be quiet for a bit, and then we'll just get into this movement. Just letting your head go with the movement. So not kind of holding the head in any particular place, just kind of let it drift to where the arm is tracking backwards. It's more of a natural movement. So I like these ones. This is sort of like a little bit of effort, and then what we'll do today is then we'll spend a little bit of time just being still and just checking in and noticing what's going on for us. Nice. It's probably enough, right? So slow it right down, really slow. Maybe go 1 or 2 more times to either side. And then what you're going to do is just going to inhale, come back to center, take a full exhale, bring the hands somewhere comfortable. I'm just going to have my palms face down. And then just check in with a little bit of stillness. Maybe close your eyes, or again, soften your gaze. And just let everything come back to a nice, stable, relaxed state. It might take a little bit of time. And you may notice like the energy in your body is just a little bit different. And then if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. So remember, Dr. Hussein was talking in Get Moving Week about exercise snacking, right? 10 minutes of exercise, just little bits, right? I love the HIIT stuff that Andy does on the virtual visual, so check him out if you don't know it. And he adapts all of the postures as well. And his HIIT classes are really good. And sometimes we think, oh, HIIT, I'm not going to do high intensity training because I'm not a high intensity sort of person. But he does lots of things where you can do it seated, right? If you can stand, you can do a lot of stuff standing as well. But it doesn't have to be high intensity. It's all relative, this stuff, right? So high intensity for some people is very different to other people, right? So try not to think about it as like, oh, I have to do it this way. And if I don't do it that way, then things are going to be bad, right? Try and just bring movement into your body and try not to sit for too long. But you do need to relax as well. So you've got to find this sort of balance between movement and relaxation. But what the body doesn't like, a lot of studies have said recently, the last few years have said, when we're sedentary for too long, that's when, things isn't good for us, physically. And we build these problems up, or we can do without, worrying you about that. But just little bits of movement like this, massive help. So let's keep moving. Inhale to bring the arms all the way back up. And then exhale, comb the arms all the way down. So just, that's all you're going to do, right? You're going to inhale the arms up. you're going to exhale the arms down. And we're already 10 minutes into this class, right? We're already done 10 minutes. Things really fly by. So as we go into this second third of the class, we'll kind of just build the energy up just a little bit, right? Inhaling up, exhaling down. And if you missed the Get Moving week, check it all out on Facebook, check it all out on YouTube. You know, there's some real amazing classes, some really lovely, you know, wisdom that was shared by so many people. And you can share that with your loved ones, right? And if you do know somebody or yourself, you know, you struggle to really know what to do and how to move and you feel like you're doing it all wrong, all of this inspiration is on the Virtual Village Hall. It's such an important thing, right? To keep moving as we age. And as I say, it's relative. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. So it's positive, right? And I always feel really kind of upbeat about this stuff because I'm 53 years old. I'm not a young man. I'm certainly not an old man. But, you know, I think I move and I feel healthier now than I did in my 30s. That's probably because I've, you know, learned over the years. You know, we learn, don't we, over the years how to look after ourselves. And I feel sometimes it's taken me 50 years to do that. That's okay. I got there in the end. I didn't get a great start. All right, inhale. Bring the arms all the way back up. As you exhale, we're going to twist. So you're going to bring this left hand onto the right knee or the right thigh. Bring the right hand behind you. Catch hold of your chair. Inhale to find some length. Exhale into your twist. So for me, I just kind of hold on to one of the kind of like legs and back of the chair. Inhaling, I'm lengthening. Exhaling, I'm just rolling this right shoulder back. And this left shoulder, I roll forward. Right? But I'm not really looking for a big twist. Breathe deeply here. And then when you're ready, inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale, twist to the other side. Just a little twist, right? That's all we're doing. Couple of breaths. You see this right shoulder's forward, this left shoulder's back. And then what we're going to do, we're going to move in and out, again, with the breath. So let's do it this way. Inhale to raise the arms. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale to come up. Exhale, twist to your left. And that's always going to be the movement, right? So you inhale up. Exhale to twist. Inhale up. Exhale to the other side. Just keep moving like that. Inhale draws the arms up. You come back to center. Exhale brings you to the side. Nice. Keep it moving. I like these kind of movements. We get to move with the breath. We get to kind of move quite energetically. Let's do two more either side, wherever you are. Inhale into center. Exhale. One more either side for me. Nice. And then this time, as you inhale, bring the arms out in line with the shoulders. Turn the palms down. Close your eyes if it feels okay, or just soften your gaze again. And just breathe here. So you're nice and expansive through the arms. You can always turn the palms forward or maybe even up. And you can flip the palms to the back of your room. And just notice what that does to your shoulders. Into the rotator cuffs maybe. Nice. And then take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring everything down. Beautiful. A little bit of movement through the neck. So again, this time I'm going to bring my palms up. But again, your choice. Drop the chin down and then just rock your chin a little side to side. Little movement. So I always think about this as like a little half moon shape. I'm super relaxed through my jaw. And then if you wanted to, you can always circle your head out. Again, we usually do this in this class. I think moving through the neck and moving through the head. There can be areas where we hold a whole lot of tension. So noticing how this feels. One side might feel a little bit different to the other. I always feel like when I move my head from right to left, it's always a little bit of extra sensation, right? It doesn't hurt, but things feel a little tighter. Inhale, bring your head back to center, and then take a full exhale. Nice. If your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. All right, we're not quite done yet with the physical stuff. So let's work through sun salutations. Then we'll do a little bit of lower body stuff, if that's available to you. And then we'll spend the last part of the class with some breath work and really calming it down today. We'll make sure we've got enough time to be very still. So, sun salutations seated. We'll build these. We'll do 2 versions. So when you're ready, inhale to bring your arms all the way up. As you exhale, bring the arms down. We've done this loads of times before, but root down into your feet and then see if you can just begin to fold down through the torso. I don't want you to strain anything, so you might bring the hands onto the knees. This is enough for a lot of people. You might let the spine round. You might even look down towards the floor, your choice. From here, why don't we lengthen our spine? So we just kind of draw a little bit of length into our spine. Shoulders are nice and relaxed, but the spine is long now. We're not sitting all the way up. Exhale to hinge and fold again. That feels appropriate. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Root down through the feet, bring the hands to prayer. Exhale, hands to the heart. So I'll do that one more time with a little bit of instruction, and then we'll just flow, and I'll be a little bit quieter. So inhale to sweep the arms up. Root down through your feet as you exhale and just fold forward, right? So try not to kind of lose any of these transitions. Stay engaged with how your body moves. Your inhale draws you up, so the spine is long. You're sitting forward still, your shoulders are relaxed. Exhale, if that feels appropriate, let it all go. And then root down through your feet. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. So there you go. With one movement, one breath now. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to come all the way up. Root down through the feet. Hands above the head. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do one more like that. So this is a seated sun salutation A. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale to hinge and fold. Inhale to lengthen, flat back. Exhale to fold. Root down through the feet. Inhale to bring the hands all the way up. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. All right, so we're going to carry on with a little twist. So inhale to bring the arms up. Exhale to hinge and fold. Okay, from here, keep the left hand down. So it might be on the left knee, it might be here, outside of the calf, it might be down on the floor. As you inhale, bring your right hand on your right hip and just open to the right. Ground the right sit bone down into your chest. So don't do that and lift up. Just twist to the point where it feels good for you. So you're just opening and looking towards the right. Exhale, come back to center. And again, right hand down, left hand on the left hip. As you exhale, open towards the left. Take a couple of breaths. Work with a nice relaxed neck. Try not to bring too much tension in. Exhale. Do that one more time either side. Left hand down. Inhale, right hand to the right hip. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, left hand to the left hip. Exhale to center. Inhale, come all the way back up. Lengthen your spine. Clasp the hands, push the palms up, stretch your spine out. A little bit of side to side movement. So you can certainly, have a bend in the elbows here. And if it doesn't feel great bringing the hands above the head, just move side to side with the arms down by your body, right? Inhale back to center, exhale, comb the arms down. All right, let's do that again. So you know what the movement's going to be. So sun salutation A, seated with a twist. Inhale to bring the hands up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale to draw length into your spine. Exhale, right hand stays down. Inhale, left arm to the left hip or left hand. You can lift the arm up, so you can be here. A little bit more in the shoulder if you do it that way. Or keep the hand on the hip. Exhale to center. Left hand stays down. Inhale, right hand to the right hip. Maybe lengthen out through that right arm. And then exhale, come back. Do that one more time. Right hand stays down. Inhale, left hand to the left hip. Maybe lengthen that left arm up. Exhale down. Inhale, right hand to the right hip. Maybe lengthen the arm again. And then exhale, come all the way down. Root down for your feet. Inhale to bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Beautiful. And then bring the hands onto your knees. Have a little shuffle around if that feels good. Maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze and just check in with your practice. Notice how you're feeling. I said we'll do plenty of relaxation today. Let's do that tiny little bit of work into our lower legs. So you're going to root down through your left foot, lift up through your right foot. Okay, if you can, you might just have the ankle off the floor, the heel off the floor. If you can make a basket grip around this right knee, hug everything in, and just have a little bit of a squeeze of that right knee in. Be gentle, right? Spine is long, shoulders relaxed. Find a little bit of compression in that right hip. You can move the right knee out a little, so you just kind of bring out a little bit of movement through the right hip. And then when you're ready, you can swap it out. So right foot down. Maybe make that basket grip. You don't have to lift the foot at all. You can just be on the toes. Sit nice and tall. Right up on the top of your sit bones. Squeeze the left knee in. Maybe a little bit of movement side to side. I think these are nice movements to do. And then we're going to come into cobbler pose where you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. I'm going to shuffle forward just a tiny bit. Try not to fall from a chair. I've already nearly tripped over it today. So now the knees are nice and wide. And you can sit nice and tall. Maybe bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Just take a few breaths here. Spine is long, knees tracking outwards, nice and wide. And just watching your breath, right? Feeling into your body, maybe feeling your heart. And then you can slowly bring the feet somewhat back together. And then we'll do a little bit of breath work. And then we'll do a little bit of relaxation. And if we've got time, I'm going to do a little bit of a reading for you as well. We'll see if we can fit it all in. We've got 7 minutes to go. All right, so a little bit of breath work. Why don't we do this nice and calm? I like it. We do it a lot. Alternate nostril breathing. If it doesn't work for you, do a nice long deep inhale, long deep exhale. So this one's in and out through the nose. If you need to blow your nose, because it's still that time of year, and blow your nose, right? Okay, so right hand will be up. Block off your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through your left nostril, sitting nice and tall. Close off your left nostril with your ring finger or little finger. Exhale through your right. Inhale right. Close off right with the thumb. Exhale left. Inhale through your left nostril. Close it off. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. And switch. Exhale left. Do one more round. Inhale left. Close it off. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. And close off. Exhale left. And then you can bring that right hand down. If you're using the left hand, that's great. And just check in. And what we're going to do is just going to sit here. Now you can lean back if you want. You can use a blanket, whatever feels good for you. We'll spend a couple of minutes in stillness. This is our seated Shavasana, where we just let everything settle. And just take a couple more rounds of breath. And then you can stay as you are, exactly as you are, maybe even keeping your eyes closed. I'm just going to do a little reading. This is from a really lovely yoga teacher called Norman Blair, who I'm about to do some teacher training with, actually. And he talks about hope. So he says we have to have hope because this then helps us to be less stuck. Because hope can inspire vision. Because hope could make our hearts sing rather than being overwhelmed by difficulties and obstacles. It's true that the world is volatile and things can feel and are fragile. And we can hope there is sunshine tomorrow. We can hope for personal wellness. We can hope for world peace. Hope is important because it helps us deal with the certain challenges of life. Hope can remind us that through sorrows are undeniable, so also are the joys. So an acronym for hope could be humility, optimism, persistence, empathy. Humility to keep us grounded and ensure that our hopes are realistic. Optimism could be less a mood and more a method. So tell stories that build agency and know that destiny is not fixed. Persistence because we need to keep going. And empathy recognises the webs of interconnection and interdependence. Another acronym for hope, helping other people every day, which could also be called support and solidarity. Hope can feed our imagination. Hope might lessen the flames of resentment and encourage social justice and human dignity. Hope is how change happens. Hope for better ways of being alongside and appreciation of this moment right now. Despite incessant media stories and social media dramas, the fact is, and I think this is the most important bit, most people choose fairness and kindness. The fact is that most people choose mutual aid over rage. It is never hopeless. The philosopher John Berger wrote, hope is not a form of guarantee, it's a form of energy, and very frequently that energy is strongest in circumstances that are very dark. Hope is a verb and a noun. Hope is a practice. Beautiful, right? So with that, let's bring our hands to our heart. And thank yourself for getting onto your mat. Thanks Norman Blair for the beautiful words. And then just with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. And here's to hope, right? Thank you guys. Thank you for being here today. It's really nice to practice with you all, as always. I'll be back here on Thursday. I'll be doing mat-based yoga. And I'll be on that mat just there, and it's at 2:30. So if you want to join, you can do a lot of that stuff on a chair as well. So if you feel like you can't get on your mat and you think I'm not going to do it, then please join, because I'll instruct some of the stuff that you can do in a chair, and then you can just do the bits that feel relevant for you. But for now, have a great week, and let's keep hope in our heart. And I'll catch you all on Thursday or next week doing chair yoga. Thanks to the Space to Breathe for hosting me, and for the Virtual Village Hall, obviously. See you later, everyone. Bye.